Hey, this is Mr. Ledston. I'm going to talk to you about some basics of GeoGebra and setting up your axes. So it really depends on your data how you need to set up your axes, but we're going to talk a little bit about quadrants. Now, in science, typically we only use quadrant number 1, looking at values that are positive on both the x-axis and the y-axis. In math, typically you'll use all 4 quadrants, so we might have negative x values as well as positive, in which case you'll use quadrants 1 and 2, quadrants 1, 2 or 3, or even quadrants 4 as well. Alright, so like I said, depends on the data that you have and the data that you're trying to represent. So the main purpose of today's tutorial is to talk about how to change what is visible on your axes. So if we only want to show quadrant 1, we can basically get rid of these negative values for our x and y axes. So in order to do that, we will make sure we click on our toggle style bar. Right, so that's selected here. We then need to select our gear icon. So this one here is essentially your settings. If we click on that, we get a series of tabs. So we have basic, x-axis, y-axis, and grid. If I click on this x-axis tab and I select positive direction only, you'll notice that the negative values on our x-axis disappear. If we click on our y-axis tab and do the same, check that box for positive direction only, now we are only going to be working in our first quadrant, which is what we want. So that's excellent. You may also notice that at the moment I only have a small amount of data available on our y-axis and on our x-axis, so it only goes up to about a value of 10. If we want to change that, so I'll change my x-axis first, what I can do is hold down shift on my keyboard and then hover over our x value. You notice that that arrow appears. If I then click down and drag, I can change the scale of my axes. So see how now I have it going up to 26. I can change that to just a value of 5. If I then release the shift key and take my hand off the mouse, it is then set. I'll do the same for my y-axis, hold down shift, click the axis, and drag up and down. Alright, again, this really depends on your data, how much data you want to show. Alright, and that's the end of today's tutorial.